Today we want to look at object diagrams and use case diagrams. Now, we looked at class diagrams last time under UML analysis. So we want to look at object diagram and see what those are, so that we can also know what or how they are drawn, and also how to how to deal with them and such kind of things, how to draw them, how to represent a diagram using object diagram. Now, the first thing that you need to know is that object diagrams represent a single instance in a class diagram. Object diagrams represent a single instance in a class diagram. What that means is you normally draw object diagrams after understanding class diagrams. You cannot draw an object diagram if you have not understood the class diagram, if you have not understood the class diagram. So you have to understand the class diagram first so that you can draw the object diagram, because an object diagram is basically an instance of a class diagram. Now, for instance, in the last class, we had our class diagram that represented a bank and the branches and the services that they offer. I think you can remember that, but of course, I'm going to share that in a while. So as we had that class diagram, it is possible to draw its object diagram. Now, let me just share this diagram so that we can move from there. So here's the diagram, right? So here is the diagram. So in this diagram, we had this scenario for a bank, and we were able to draw the class diagram. Now, an object diagram is basically an instance of a class. It normally shows a particular part of a class together with its objects. Now, I want to give you the symbolic diagrams that are used for an object diagram, and this is going to help us to understand how object diagrams are drawn. Now, object diagrams are drawn in this manner. Object diagrams are normally drawn in this manner. So for you to represent an object, you will have to draw a finite rectangle with two parts, with only two parts, okay? So I'm going to ungroup this. I'm just going to delete this, and of course delete this, and that, and that. So that's how an object diagram, how you represent an object in an object diagram. So this is an object, okay? So here you'll have the object name, okay? There you'll have the object name, and here you will represent the attributes, okay? So you will not represent the what? You will not represent the functions. You will only represent the attributes. Attributes are data, okay? Only represent the attributes. So object name and the attributes. And then, so that's how it needs to be one finite rectangle that is made up of two sections. And the first section on top is the object, will contain the name of the object, and the second, the data in that object. Then you also use that straight line to represent a link. Links are basically used to show relationships, okay? Relationships between different things in a UML model, right? So link to show relationships. Now, for instance, if we are told to draw an object diagram, so example, if we are told to draw an object diagram of the banking system to show bank in relation to its branches. Okay, so we already have this class diagram and we already have this scenario. Okay, so given this scenario, you're told from this scenario, draw an object diagram to show just a small portion of this whole scenario. And that portion is what? The bank and its branches. So what you are being told is just to draw an object diagram for this particular part. Okay, just that. Okay, and probably also this, yeah, this part. Basically, an object diagram represents a small portion of a class diagram, okay, or a small scenario in a bigger scenario, which is represented by a class diagram. So if you are told that, you are told draw an object diagram of the banking system to show the bank in relation to its branches, just basically come here and draw the object. So we are going now to group this because of course I want to copy it. So I'll now use this, I can now copy, paste. So I'm going to have that. So the bank, remember in the class diagram, we just called it bank, okay? So we are going to come here and then we are going to, just a minute, edit text. Let me first ungroup so that I can edit text in a better way. Okay, so bank, and what were the attributes for the bank? The bank had customer accounts and loans. In fact, the bank had branches. The bank had customer accounts, and the bank also had what? Loans. The bank had loans. Okay, so that's it for the first object. These are just objects. All right, so objects normally don't show the the functions. Okay, they only show the name of the object and the attributes associated to it. Okay, so we are going to group this. Okay, then we are going to paste, copy and paste. So we are going to show, at least let's just show 3 branches. We have not been given a specific. Okay, so we can actually show 3 branches. Just 3, or 3 will be enough, because we have not been given the number. Otherwise, if we had been given the number, then that would be fine, but we've not been given the number. So so we are going to draw this. So we have these. So what am I going to do? I'm going to, okay, let me just arrange them in a good way. All right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to now draw links. Okay, I'm going to draw links. So I'm going to use a what? Straight line to show a what? A link. So a link is basically an item in an UML model that whose work is basically to show the relationship between the different structural things. Okay, so I'm showing the links that this bank has different branches. That the bank has different branches. And then I'm just going to come and edit these. Let me ungroup first. I come and edit these objects because these objects are branches. Okay, so I'm just going to use the class diagram we had there so that I can know what to be writing. So branches, zone or head office. And a branch would offer loans, a branch also had customers, and a branch also had accounts, right? So customer accounts and loans. So a branch would have those. All right, and then let's call this bank B. Let me see if there was another information. Okay. In fact, let me add something. I want to add some information here. I'm going to give some information like relation to its branches. You can say branch A zonal head office is recognized by the branch code, A46TH3. Okay, just want to add so that this information can be a little bit more comprehensive, so that these objects don't look like each other, right? And then branch B, has the code B26Y7R. Branch C has the code. So each branch is recognized by a particular code, has the code C8FE32. Okay. So of course you are now told to draw the object diagram. So I just want to ensure that these ones are fit here. So the bank has that, and the bank has branches. And so I'm just going to have these links. Now, there's something about these links that you have to understand. These links should show the relationships, okay? So we need to have this branch here. This branch is going to show that this zone, the zone or head office, belongs to the bank, okay? It belongs to the bank. So how are we going to represent the code? We're going to represent the code inside the attributes, okay? Inside the attributes. So branch code is equal to what? Branch code is A46TH3. Mhm. All right. Then, okay, go to delete that, copy and paste that. So why this? Because these ones belong to the branches. What is happening here? Just a minute. Just a minute. Okay. All right, let me continue. So I'm going to have two branches there. Okay. So the first branch, of course, I'm going to edit this first and group and edit this. So bank B, uh, it has what? Customer accounts and what? And loans, right? So branch code. Branch code. And of course, I'm also going to add branch code here. Yeah. And then I'm going to copy and paste the code for branch B, which is B26Y7R. And also here, that. All right, let me make them visible. Okay, just that. So this, sorry, I need to group this. Group, there we go. So now let me arrange them. So I want now to show you the links and so that you can now see how the links function. That, and then also because this bank has a one, it has different branches, but we're just representing one particular scenario because an object diagram we only use an object diagram to represent one particular scenario. Okay, so what you're going to do, we are going to pick this now. See how this I'm going to use this link. Why am I using this link here? Because this is basically to show that this particular branch B is governed by the zone. Okay, also bank C here is governed by the zone, by this zone or head office. That's why I'm using that link there. Okay. And do these objects, now look at this, do these objects, these two, you see I've linked this branch to this bank, and the reason I've linked it is because this branch has some attributes that it has inherited from this. So it has inherited customer accounts and loans. Also this one, it has, you see, customer accounts loans is here, customer accounts loans is here. So it has inherited. So that this link is to show that kind of relationship. Now, also these branches have inherited, okay, from this. They have also inherited from this. So because there is a relationship, then we are also going to show to using links, okay, that way, okay. So I'm showing this, I'm using the links, why? Because they have inherited from that. Okay. Yeah. So you see the relationship. So the links are just basically to show the relationships. Okay. Just a minute. So you put links where you see objects have inherited from other objects. Okay. So like these branches have inherited customer accounts and loans from bank. Okay, so that's why I've shown the relationship. And also I've shown the relationship between the branches, the zonal head, and this. Why? Because this acts, this also shows that these two branches can only have what the zonal head office has. So if the zonal head office has customer accounts, then and loans, also the other branches, okay. In fact, this should be branch, not bank. The other branches should also have customer accounts and loans. So basically the links are there to show the relationships, okay. The links are there to show the relationship. So this is basically the what? This is basically the object diagram. All right. Now, anyone with any questions, so that I give you now a question from this particular scenario? Can you see now how that works? Yeah. So there is no way you can understand an object diagram if you've not drawn a class diagram. So that's how they start. You first draw a class diagram, then you show an object diagram. If you are told to show an object diagram, you first have to know how a class diagram looks like. Then you're able to draw an object diagram. So have you understood the concept of links and why we have linked the bank and the branches, and then the branches and the zone? Because of what? These two particular attributes that are being inherited, customer accounts and loans. So where you see any inheritance, then you need to show that inheritance using a what? A link. Okay. But of course, we cannot have a link between branch B and branch C because these two are not inheriting from each other. Okay. Treat them like child classes. Child classes don't inherit from each other, they inherit from parents, right? Like you and your brother or you and your siblings, you don't inherit from each other. You inherit from your parents, okay? You inherit from your parents. That's why this one and this one are inheriting from this and also inheriting from this, okay? Because of this particular attributes, customer accounts, and loans which are being inherited all through. Okay. Any question? Any question? Okay. All right, let me give you a question if you have no question. And this should not take you a lot of time. So I'm going to give you this scenario. So of course, all right, let me find a scenario. Oh, good. I found a unique scenario here. So let me copy and paste it here and require you. So an account in previous, I'm going to say using previous bank scenario, an account may be either a savings account. A customer may open both a savings account and a current. However, a customer must not have more than one savings account or current account. Draw an object diagram to represent this instance in the bank scenario. Draw an object diagram to represent this instance in the bank scenario. So basically, you are using this particular question already that you had here, because you cannot be told to draw an object diagram if you've not been told to draw a class. Or you may be told to draw an object diagram independently, but it will be an instance of a class. Okay, so you have been given this question already. So I've just copied and pasted this particular instance. Okay, and then I've told you to draw an object diagram for that particular instance. Okay, so what you're going to do, you're just going to check this. Okay, check this class diagram here. Let me zoom out. So check this class diagram here, see where that instance is. Okay, see where that instance is and just draw the object diagram. Okay, the instance is what? So you're going to be dealing with what? The saving accounts. Okay, accounts and what? Customers. Okay, that's just what you are using. An account may either be a savings account or customer account. So draw that. Probably you can actually, okay, let me just, we are having 4 minutes remaining, in fact 3 minutes now. So let me do this. Let me share this in the group so that you can actually open the document on your own there, so that you can actually work it out as I create another session. I think that will be fine, yeah? So let me put this document in the group, okay? So that you can open it from there, so that when the screen share disappears, you can actually continue. You can just open the document from your group, from the WhatsApp group, and find it there. So let me share it here in your WhatsApp group. We have 2 minutes remaining and the session will close. The time will be over for that session. I'll create another session. But of course, what I'm going to do, I'm going to share, as I'm sharing this, as you work that question out, I'll create another session, which is going to start immediately 15 minutes after this particular session is over. So I'm requiring you to take 15 to 20 minutes to grow. Then after 20 minutes, I'm going to holler you in the WhatsApp group that the next session is live so that you can join, okay? So the connection is a little bit compromised, but it will open. Trying to open WhatsApp web so that I can send it directly. So the session will be closing in the next few seconds. So let me just, it will close in the next few seconds, but you're going to find I'm now sharing this. I'm now sharing the document. You'll find it here in your group, all right?